Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are chatting all about the air element in Ayurveda. Let's get straight to it. My name is Nina Sachs. I am one of the directors here at the Academy of Yoga and Ayurveda, and I am glad that you are joining us for this short little lesson on the air element. Yesterday we were chatting about the first element, which was ether, the expansiveness. Today we're delving into air, and air in Sanskrit is vayu, and kind of like air doesn't really encompass exactly what vayu is, because vayu is kind of like a little bit more of movement, and movement is necessary in our body for our body to function. Everything in our body needs movement, from our heart beating, from the blood moving through our arteries and veins, through just exactly muscular movement. Everything is movement, and the air element is kind of like manifests that which is electrical energy within our body. So kind of like, if we're touching something, that sends an immediate response to our brain to say, oh, okay, something's just touched my hand. Or if I'm touching something hot, I'm like, that's hot. So that electrical energy, that electrical circuit is vayu. That is the air element within our body. So we're going back to my favorite book, which is by Dr. Vasant Lad, Ayurveda, the fundamental principles. And just remember that the qualities of air are kind of like that air is light, it is mobile, it is dry, there's also like a cooling aspect to it, and it is very subtle and rough. So if you think of air on you, and a lot of air, you end up like with quite dry skin. So air can be very, very drying. So just keep that in mind. And especially when we go into kind of like the Vata stages of life, I'm digressing completely, I do apologize, but where the air and ether join and become more apparent. So kind of like from menopause onwards. And then you notice that they're often especially in women and men as well, there's this drying that starts to happen with the body. And so we really again want to bring the opposite in of lubrication. But let's get back to the air element because I am digressing a little bit too much. So this is what the air element says. Again, prana is the basic principle of the air element. It is the flow of consciousness from one cell to another cell in the form of intelligence. Prana is the vital life force and is necessary for all subtle and gross movements within the cell, within the system, and within the physical body. So prana, this idea of life force, is essential and is necessary for all aspects of us to function. In other words, sensory stimuli, this is what I was explaining a moment ago, and motor responses are the subtle movements of prana. Even the movements of the heart, respiration, peristalsis, and other involuntary movements are governed by this principle of air, of prana. And so that is why it is so important to understand the subtleties of this air element and realizing that, it's not just air that we're breathing, not just air that we're bringing into our lungs, but it's actually got to do with all the movement within our body. So if there is a stagnation somewhere, if there's an issue with our heart, if there's a problem with peristalsis, we often know that that can be an issue with vata, because we know that the air is not able to move as smoothly and as clearly as it should be. So again, we cover more of this, a lot more of this in our 40-hour training in Ayurveda. If you are interested, be sure to hit me up in the comments below and I'll send you more information when our next training is. And again, we have the 200, the 300, and the 100-hour add-on yoga teacher training. If you are interested, we're based in Cape Town and we would love to connect with you, especially if you love Hatha Yoga, love Ayurveda, and just want to be taught by experienced yoga teachers. We've all been teaching. I'm probably the least experienced with like 20 years of teaching experience. Jennifer and Pramila have been teaching for many more decades than me. So they are very well versed in the art of yoga, philosophy, and Ayurveda. And so if you're really wanting to learn from those who've been in the industry and have just made this a lifestyle for more of their life than it hasn't been, then definitely let me know, comment below, check out our website, and it'll be so good to connect with you in the future. Sending you so much love from my heart to yours. Namaste.